Fresh out of jail, fixed to pick up the kids. It's been almost 3 months. Here we go. Come on, Riggsy boy. There they are. Parker in London. Nice. Hi, sweetie. How are you?
Stop licking me.
There, get down, baby. Hey, buddy.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm going.
Oh my gosh, look at y'all's hair. Handy. Hey, bud. Oh, how are you? Get it, buddy.
Have you lost pounds or lost pounds?
Actually, I've gained pounds up here.
Oh.
I got up to about 1,200 dips a day.
Wait,
I did an average of, I think, about 25,000 laps I walked while I was in jail. So,
holy shit, man.
I was a little pale. I looked like the color of your shirt when I got out, but I'm good now. I'm just so glad to see you. Okay. It's gonna be all right, kids. I promise. Okay. All right, let's go. Let's go get set up.
Are you on your riding lake?
Oh yeah, same old place.
All right. Hello, everybody. How is everybody doing? Congratulations to us. We've got now 2 full streams that went all the way through and did not get demonetized. So I'm going to... Pen, I noticed you asked Caleb, why is the jail video your intro? I assume you mean the one that y'all just watched. That's just what I got, man. I'm not, to this day, I still do not consider myself a YouTuber, certainly not a very good one. And that video is so old, all the Parker stuff, but some people just now get here and they have no idea who I am, but they know who Parker is, and I go, it's just how I tie it in. So anyway, before we get started, yes, today I did watch a really interesting event called Road to the Horse. But I've got a question for everybody. I've been hammering on and on and on and on, well, for years, but particularly this last week on this podcast, about staying sober and running and getting your heart rate up. By show of hands, and you have to be honest, I'm going to bust y'all's balls a little bit here. How many of you today, or at least yesterday, got your heart rate up for 15 minutes? Show of hands. I'm going to give all of you a hard time who did not do it. Show me your hands. Who has done more than just listen to this old dude on the internet rant and rave about the importance of staying sober and getting in shape. I want to know. That's what I thought. I'm not. I know there's a little bit of a delay, but I'm not seeing any hands. I see Mazen. There's one. Come on. Who else? I know Mazen, and I'm not actually not shocked Mazen did because that kid's young and thinks he's gonna box me someday, but he's just gonna get punished if it ever happens. Oh, Dannon. All right. That's what I'm talking about. I'm going to be the internet, everyone's internet dad. There's either people here my age or there's kids. And I call kids anyone my kid's age to me is a kid. And I'm going to be the internet dad and bust y'all's balls. I mean it. This is really serious. It's not just talk. You've got to get your heart rate up. You've got to eat lots and lots and lots of protein. Okay, let's see. Let's get over here. I have a soccer match now. No sport requires more stamina than that. That's probably very, very true. Yeah. Yeah, I played soccer in high school. All right. Yeah, I watched this event called Road to the Horse. And I guess before I do that, I got to do the obligatory. Y'all know how I feel about this. All these pathetic YouTubers who just constantly whine and cry and beg for likes and subscribes. Yet I see why they do it. I'm just not one of those type of guys that it just bugs me. So, like everything else in my life that I feel uncomfortable with, I make a joke about it. And so, yeah, hit the like and subscribe, guys. I'm a starving YouTuber. If y'all don't hit the like and subscribe and I don't waste 5% of my broadcast time begging you to do so, you aren't intelligent enough to do it. So, anyways, keto diet. No, not fully. Close. I just do the me diet. Lots and lots and lots of protein, about 80%. Some people do. I mean, honestly, I don't even really know what keto is. Is that all meat? I don't even know. There's so many different types of diets. Is that straight carnivore or is that anything but sugar and carbs? Because if it is, it's I guess mostly keto. But some of the yogurt that I eat has sugar in it, and I like bananas and I like strawberries. So if that disqualifies me from keto, then no. But I don't really care. I just do the me diet. Baki, none of us are those kind of people that are thirst for subscribers. Okay, that's yeah. Maybe I found the right place to the right folks. Mostly meats and cutting out carbs, breads. Okay, I mean yeah, mostly. I love bread, but I don't eat it. I love oatmeal, don't eat it. But if a little bit of sugar disqualifies me from being keto, then okay, I don't do keto. But anyway, Mazen's the only one in the audience that got his heart rate up today. So I'm going to challenge y'all. I'm going to take off one day a week. I don't know which day, but I just started and we're on like day number 5 or something. And it will probably wind up being Sundays. But every day I get on here, I have a plan. I'm going to stress the importance of getting in shape, remaining sober, and staying on your path. Because if you don't stay on your path, then you get off your path. And if you get off your path, your chances of survival, as cruel and nutty and crazy as this bizarre world is getting to, you're not going to survive. And one last thing, if you want to get on here and chat with yours truly, there's a banner at the bottom. If you'll go to there's a link in the members section. You have to become a member. I've got I think I'm up to 8 or 10 members now. Woo! And there's a link there. And if you want to chat with me, there's a link there. You can get on it. It's really simple, straightforward. You just click it. I think you can even do it on your phone. And But if you do it, don't be weird. Just if you got something to say, just say it. So, anyways, let's get into it. I'm going to add this here. And I'm not going to play all of this, but let's see. I don't like that one. Let's make that a little bigger. There we go. I'm not going to play all of this, and I don't know how YouTube is about playing videos with sound. I've noticed other people that they usually mute them a lot, and you can see what they're doing, but they just kind of narrate. I don't know if it's just for copyrighted material, but I'll just put this on. Well, let me just describe. If you're not familiar what Road to the Horse is, it's basically the World Cup of horse training, and in particular, not just horse training, in particular, starting the colt. And I'm not an expert, and I'm just going to assume that I know there are some horse people here. Hello, Miss Angel. I know there are some horse people here. I've chatted with y'all a little bit, but I'm not a horse expert, but I love horses, and I'm just fascinated by them. And in particularly, it's only mainly, I would imagine, because my oldest son, Parker, is a professional horse trainer. And he's been telling me about this Road to the Horse for years. I think they just had their 14th annual event, which is what happened today. Actually, you know what? Let me just get over here, and I'm going to mute and play this, and you can just see what this girl here is, her name is Vicki Wilson, I believe, and she's from, let's see, let me mute this. She is from New Zealand. Okay, make sure that's working. I am a one-man band, and I'm not an expert at any of this. All right, yeah, it's working. Picture is working, and there is Vicky. So what she's doing here, and again, what this is, it's a colt starting competition. When a horse is born, they're called a foal, and as they come of age, you cannot ride them, or you're not supposed to, until about age 2. They are not fully grown at age 2. They take probably, I think Parker said 4 or 5 years before they're like really, really grown. But you could think of a 2-year-old colt, which is what Vicky is saddling up right there. You can think of them as like an 18-year-old kid. They're definitely grown and big and strong, but they just don't know jack shit. And that's okay, because everybody starts there, and I'm certainly not getting on to humans that are 18 that think they know everything. It's okay not to know everything, because you just haven't been alive long enough. That's what parents are for. And it, to the best of my knowledge, there were 4 people who made it to the final Road to the Horse, and Vicky is one of them. And she is a jumper, I believe. She does mostly jumping horses. There's all different kinds of disciplines of horses. There's Western, which is what Parker's more into. There's the jumpers. You've got she's got on there an English saddle. And again, I'm not going to play the sound, but she talks about the English saddle and how it's different. She's not used to the certain Western things. And then you got polo horses and Kentucky Derby horses. This is held in Lexington, Kentucky. So regardless of the discipline of the horse, all colts are born tiny, and they all grow up, and about 2 years old is the earliest, most ideal time to start their training. And in order to get to this Road to the Horse finale, it's a 3-day event. But in order to get there, it's got, like any other, it's got brackets. And again, I'm not an expert on it. They call it the wild card. Apparently there's several wild card, like lower level, maybe in Dallas or somewhere in, I don't know, Arizona or Cody, Wyoming. I really don't know. But if you win the wild card, then it's basically that's your invitation. You get to go to the final in Lexington, Kentucky, and it's a 3-day event. So these horses, they know absolutely nothing. They've never been touched. The only time they've ever even been messed with by a human is just whatever it took to round them up out of the pasture. I think Parker might have told me that with the 4.6s is a humongous ranch, and I think what's his name? The guy that made Yellowstone. I think he bought the 4.6s, if I'm not mistaken. Massive, massive, massive horse ranch. We're talking hundreds, at least tens of thousands of acres, if not hundreds. But anyway, other than rounding these brand new young colts up off the 4.6's ranch and hauling them to Lexington, they've never been touched by a human. No bridle, no saddle, no formal training at all. And each one of these contestants, like Vicky, and there's another Canadian dude named Tick. I don't remember his last name. And an old man named Buster, and another old man, and I don't know. I've never heard of these people until today, but I really got into it, and I got into it just by accident. It popped up on my phone this morning when I woke up, and it just so happens it said "Road to the Horses" live, and I was like, "What? Never in my life have I searched "Road to the Horse." And we obviously live in some kind of video game or matrix. It's just weird how that happens. Anyway, I watched it. And so you saw Vicky right there. She just hopped up on that horse. She brushed it a little bit. She's got a headset and she's talking to the audience. It's in like a Coliseum type place. There's attendees all around. And what she's doing is she's just trotting in a round pen. Round pens are typically, 40, 50 feet in diameter, and it's just a round pin. They call it the saddle pin here. Parker calls it right there. That's about, I'm assuming about 40 feet. Sometimes they'll be 50 feet depending on your discipline of horse. But right here where she's on it, this is day 3. She was given this horse, as were all 4 contestants, given a horse that had never been touched by a human being at all. And this is her getting on the horse. That's the first time. You can see he's just kind of bucking around. He doesn't really know what he's doing. But to be able to get a wild-ass horse and given 3 days and to get them to do what these horse trainers can do, in my opinion, is fascinating. And one thing that I do love about this is, I'm a Southerner, and I, cowboy hillbilly type, come from that. But in the old days, they had what they call bronc riders, and I guess they still have them. But in the old days, this is just talking to Parker and some other people. They were just way too rough with them. They just saddle them up, and that's just how they did it. I don't know that they intended to be dicks, but they're kind of dicks. But what I like about these people, see, the part of the training is just something as simple as open the gate while saddled, and that horse knows nothing. It doesn't know it's never seen an arena. It's never had a rider, and to have that much control, being only around that horse for 72 hours, I just think it's amazing. And that's what I was getting at. They do it humanely, because I don't know about y'all, but I love horses. I don't know very much about them other than just talking to Parker over the years about it. But they do it without just, like where all us Gen X come from. Our parents just beat the hell out of us. That's just how it worked. That's just what they did. I'm not saying it's right, but some are a little bit rougher than others. And I watched all of these, and the guy Tick, the Canadian guy, he actually won it, and I believe it's his second time to win it. He wasn't my favorite, and I'm certainly not slandering him because these guys are way better than me. But of all people, I actually shocked myself. I actually liked Vicky's entire performance. Each contestant, they get 20 minutes inside the round pen to get the horse saddled for the very first time. And then as soon as she came out of that gate, the clock up there, they get like 30 or 35 minutes. and now they're in the big part of the arena. And so there's a series of obstacles. You've got you got these things sticking up where the horse does this and goes around and comes back. You've got these little pool noodles that come in because horses are to simulate brush, and you'd be surprised. I was kind of surprised how, and there's only like 4 on each side. It's they can clearly see the other side, but I think Vicky's was the only, if I'm not mistaken, the only one that actually she was able to, the only one to able to make her horse go through it. Oh, let's see. Hang on just a second. There's one of the horse people, I do believe. Hi, Caleb. I extra called that I can stay at home and watch this. Oh, I think, if I'm not mistaken, you're one of the, Save Horses. You're one of the horse people I've kind of chatted with a little bit. But anyways, so now she's got 30 minutes. Okay, and you see on the left side there, those are all the bullet points. And Vicky, while on there, she can see that same chart up on a wall. And those are all the things that they have to do. They have to say, I declare I'm walking left. I declare I'm, trot left. I'm going to lope left, walk right, trot right, stop, back, get off. And my eyes are failing me at the moment. I can't see all of it. But anyway, I just thought it was amazing that not only is there there are people that can do this, but there's enough people to do it that they've got a whole event, and they've got this massive coliseum full of people that attend this. And Parker wants to go to this, and I want him to. And if he manages to show up there, see that little horse bucking a little bit? And she's a jumper. Like, she's a professional. To her, that's nothing. I've watched a couple of her other videos from New Zealand, where she's from. See, now she's hopping off. She gets to re-cinch him up a little bit, because if the withers isn't just right, the saddle will roll over, and that could really cause a wreck. And that, speaking of, sometimes some of these horse trainers, I've watched people make comments about different people, and they'll say, well, he shouldn't have got that rough, and he got a little too rough. Not Vicky, but of other ones. Sometimes you got to smack them just a little bit and get their damn attention, because as big and beautiful and as much as everybody loves horses, they're powerful and they're strong, and you've got to get their attentions, because much like little cheerins, human cheerins, they can be little shits. And if you don't get their attention and discipline them and teach them how to properly behave in society, they grow up untrained or trained by idiots, in our case for humans, the state, and they behave terribly and they hurt people. And horses will do the same thing. So if you ever see a horse, you can take it too far, just like with human hitting, spanking. If you're pulling off your belt and beating the hell out of your kid just because you're a drunk asshole father, then you've crossed the line. But a father getting on to a little shit that's being a little shit and whipping him, popping him on the butt and getting his attention, there's nothing wrong with that, in my opinion. Same way with horses. So if you ever see someone, getting a little aggressive with a horse, just kind of chill. Maybe he knows what he's doing. I'm not saying all horse trainers or horse people in general know what they're doing, because much like with any other sport or any other skill, it's a highly competitive, and you'll hear people talking, well, that guy sucks, or she sucks, or he sucks, or so. Anyways, I was just fascinated by it, and it was neat to watch one woman and 3 men from 3 different countries and 3 different disciplines of horses, whether it's Western or jumping, or I forget what the other one. I guess there's 2 jumpers and 2 Westerns. But to watch them all do the same general task with their own specific, unique, I'd dare say artistic touch, it was really, really neat to watch. And by the very end of it, you can just see the horse has a little bit of pride and, like, hey, look at me. My shit don't stink. I'm pretty badass. And sometimes they get a little jumpy with, but if the crowd gets a little too loud, but that's just part of it. Part of what they do in these with all these obstacles is the desensitize them to outside stimulus. I don't know what happened there. Oh, I guess it's just lagging. Maybe because I'm streaming and let's see. Maybe it's because I'm streaming and playing that at the same time. I'm not sure. But where was I? Oh, desensitize them. Horses are obviously not predators. They're real jumpy. They can hurt you, they can bite you, and they can obviously kick. They're strong, but they're not. Their natural reaction is to be just jumpy, and their natural reaction is to want to protect themselves and stay away. And their biggest defense is their hind legs. I've seen horses use their front legs. Like there's video clips of horses, whacking some alligators in Florida, and they'll get rough with them, but they're so strong. But they're not. It's not like they have claws and big teeth, and so they're naturally just jumpy. They're cautious, and of course, all horses are unique. They've got their own unique personality, just like humans. But much like humans, they're all kind of generally the same. We all, humans, we're all obviously different, but everybody's got their own. We all kind of behave the same way. We got parents. We go to school. We do whatever, but they're all uniquely different. And these horses, they're just jumpy, and that's part of what they're doing in this with all these the training of the horses, desensitize them. Like, hey, it's okay to walk through brush. See, look, it's just a log. We're going to step over the log. So when these horses go out to work in the field, and yes, believe it or not, there's more to horses than just, racing or, making cowboy movies. There are real working ranches. I'm on one. Like this physical location here in Wyoming, I see nobody except cowboys. Sometimes they're on tractors feeding the cows and the horses because they've got so many of them. Sometimes they're running to town in their trucks or whatever. But other than that, when I go on my runs, my 2, 3, 4 miles today, and I did 5 miles today, by the way, if I see anyone, they're usually on horseback. And there's thousands of cows on this ranch scattered throughout different pastures, and they've got to rotate them. They got the 2-year-olds in one place. They got the pregnant mamas in another. They got the bulls that go to slaughter or whatever they do with them, and they got to take care of them and move them. See right here, she's just hopping off and announcing that she's lifting each leg individually. And she lifted the legs better than any of the dudes did. She had no problem. And I'm sure it's partly luck of the draw with the horse, but she pulls them up in the back, pulls it to the front, and she checks the tendons and the flexibility. And so anyway, when these horses go out, there really are working cattle ranches. And the cowboys that may be watching this are rolling their eyes like duh, I work on one. But I know for a fact there's people that have no clue that this actually existed. I didn't know this competition existed. But there's some people that have absolutely no idea where food comes from, where cows come from, how cows get raised. You got to have cowboys. You literally have to have men or women on horses that know how to take care of these things, keep them, if they get injured or if they got whatever. A lot of this stuff you can't do in a vehicle, a truck, or even a four-wheeler. Now, sometimes around here, if they're moving just pasture to pasture, I've seen them. They'll be in their truck or a four-wheeler. But sometimes, depending on the terrain, there's places that only a horse can go in order for, the caretakers to take care of the ranch and do various ranch things. And all horse work starts with a colt starter. And that is what my son does. I've said that for years when people ask me, how's Parker, how are the kids? And I don't go into detail. I just say he's fine. He's a professional horse trainer. He starts colts. He specializes in starting colts for a living. This is what he does. And it's really, really, really neat as a father to watch him uh, excel at what he does. So, anyways, I'm going to get over to some comments here. Save horses. They are pre-animals. I assume you mean pretty animals. And horses can feel what you feel. Yeah, there's one old man in here. I think his name was Buster. And this dude's old. Like, no, no offense to old people, because I'll be there soon myself. He's like in his 70s, maybe later. I don't know. He was making a point. She's not a Western rider, so she doesn't have. She's got an English saddle. There's no saddle horn that you can wrap the rope around for tying cows, because she doesn't do any of that. But he made it a point. He never leaves his round pen or his stables. He made a point to tell people this without a rope. And Western saddles have I forget, there's a name for it. Parker would know. There's a latch. I forget what it's called. Is it a knot latch? I'm not sure. There's a latch that holds the lasso, and he made it a point. And I'm getting to the point. This what this Obake person said. They feel what you feel. They're very, very sensitive. He had trained the previous 2 days that horse and desensitized him to that particular lasso that was on there. Well, in this arena that they're going through all these obstacles, they've got a different lasso tied to this little blow up thing that they have to drag around. That rope is different. The horse was behaving different, and he was just making a point to point that out. They notice the slightest little, like tiniest little things, and since their eyes are set outward, he was noting that you can pass by something and the horse will look at it, and if he receives the information from, say, his left eye, he may be just fine with it. And then you go around the other way, though it's the same thing and he can see it. If the most of the vision is seen from the right eye, it may be different from him. It's like being left-handed or right-handed, and he may not like it. And that's part of the why can't I say that word? Desensitize. Desensitization. And right here, she's just going over. She had to do one loop around each of these logs, and they're not fastened. If the horse accidentally hits it too hard, it doesn't hurt it. It'll just knock it off. Oh, okay. Okay. I know. Where'd you say you're from? Austria? A pre-animal is the opposite. Oh, prey. Okay. Okay. Prey. Over here, it's spelled Prey. That's I assume that's what you mean. Prey animal instead of the opposite of a predator. Okay. Prey animal. Yeah. That is what I'm always fascinated about, different cultures. Okay. Real quick, look at what she just walked. That's a tarp. And you'd be surprised how jumpy those horses are around tarps. And if I'm not mistaken, she was the only one that made her horse go over the tarp. Everybody else, they'll push them, a little bit, and if they'll get them to at least try. But if they don't want to go, you can't push them too much because they're young and you'll mess up their brains somehow. Yeah, yeah. I assume, okay, prey animal. I'm assuming that's what she meant. That's what she meant. I've rode a horse before while I lived in Seattle. Okay. I always loved horses as a kid. My mom would pull over to let me pet a horse in my neighborhood. I did too. And then back when I was a kid, my dad is like big into horses now, like really big into horses. Um, like he's got some really top tier. There she goes. See them noodles? She just pushed her animal just went right through it. And if I'm not mistaken, hers was the only one. The other the dudes, she outdid the men. The men couldn't get the men couldn't get their horse to go through, but old Vicky did. Um, yeah, my dad is big time into horses, and he's got I don't know. He doesn't know, but he's got 4 or 5 of them. But he owns like the parents and the foal, the baby, and he's like raised them. And he and Parker get to talking. They'll talk about the breeds and the names and the bloodlines. And horses have the goofiest names. And but anyway, as much as Dad is into horses now, and he's gone to clinics and he's been in it, he got into it about my 19th birthday or 18th birthday. So I was fascinated by horses as a child and I always wanted one, but I was told, no, those are just hay burners. Those are just hay burners. They're a waste of money. But as soon as I got graduated, of course, that's the downside of being the oldest cheering is your parents are young and dumb and they learn how to be parents on you. And I was the oldest, so my parents they learned on me and poor Parker his parents learned on him. Maybe that's why they always says their little sister was kind of bratty, and maybe she was, but she's the baby and she was my only girl. And every time I start this podcast and I watch that 3-minute video of me, that was the best hug I ever got. It just makes me sad that London hasn't spoken to me in about 4, maybe going on 5 years now. I don't know. Maybe I screwed up. I don't know. That's just part of being a parent too, is figuring out where I went wrong. Got a horse named Wallace. What kind of horse is Wallace? Yes, my quarter horse is called on paper. Yeah, see, that's my Skip DeReba or Riha. I can't tell if that's an H or a B. I think it's an H. Skip DeRiha. Yeah, Parker's always telling me Hollywood done it, and that'd be the sire or the dad, and then the baby would be called a mixture of dad's name and mom name, and they don't go by surnames. They kind of do, but they kind of don't. It's kind of strange, But once you get used to it, there's this one bloodline called that Parker's talked about forever called a. I'll think of it in a minute. I always forget it. That's right on the tip of my tongue. I always want to say glitter cat. I know that's not it. I can't think. I'll think of it later. Metallic cat. There's a bloodline. I don't know if the original old man, is still alive or not, but his name was Metallic Cat, and he had lots and lots and lots of babies and grandbabies because he's a world champion bloodline. And if you can look on the papers, if that horse comes from the old man, Metallic Cat, that's a high dollar horse. My dad would say, "They will kick you in the nuts, son. Stay away from them. If you don't know what you're doing, they will. They can hurt you." There's a video that went viral a few years ago about, I think the horses were down in Mexico. See right here, that's just a gate, a standalone gate out by itself. Part of the training is there's a latch on top of there. She has to get the horse close. See, she's pulling it and pushing it too. Part of the training is She had to go up to it, unlatch it, push it open, walk around, and shut it, go back, and then latch it shut. And I didn't understand this one very much, but I just had to push it with her. Well, the first guy, they said he had to push it with his chest, and I could tell that rider's like, what? See, it's another thing I figured out later. All the other riders, they haven't seen the particular layout, and they have to stay in seclusion as the other performers go. So that I don't know exactly why. So they don't get a heads up or an advantage over the other riders, I guess. But all she's doing is just getting a little horse to just push that little thing around. I named my horse Papa John in Red Dead Redemption 2. That doesn't surprise me. That's about the typical horse name. Had Metallic Cat, a extremely shiny coat. I think I've heard from that breed. Maybe so. Parker could tell you all about it. As you well notice, I keep wanting to call it a glitter cat, but it's a metallic cat. I don't know anything about them other than what Parker tells me. Have you ever seen the video of the horse fighting an alligator? Yeah, actually, if I guess you're a little late, I mentioned that I have, and that happened in Florida, or the one I saw happened in Florida. And it was a big gator too, like a big sucker, like a 10 or 12 footer. I mean, those suckers they can weigh, I don't know, 800 pounds or more. And it got tangled up that horse, and that pissed that horse off. And he went up to it and just kicked the dog piss out of that thing and flipped him over. Oh, that's what I was saying. I lost my train of thought. There's another video of a horse that went viral here a few years ago, and I think they're speaking Spanish. I assume they're down in Mexico somewhere. They were going to breed a mare to this stud horse, and I think they're both black horses. And they let the mare go, put her in there with the pin, and she was not having it. She did not want to be bred, and that stud was just chasing her around and like irritating the piss out of her. And she reared up and she kicked him and knocked his ass out cold and killed the stud horse. I mean, just boom, you hear it like a pop. It like shattered his skull, killed him just instantly. Yep, I guess that's what they do. Just like any group of animals, they're going to protect. And if they get scared and you make them mad, they'll hurt you. I think she's about done. Yeah, she's down about 9 minutes. So, anyways, well, we're 43 minutes in. I didn't see anybody want to get on, so I've noticed about these podcasts, and I remember this from 2 or 3 years ago when I started doing this. Maz will probably remember this. I'm going to try to keep these under an hour. And then usually when I say approach the hour, all of a sudden, boom, I get this big influx of people wanting to chat and talk. But I haven't, I haven't, nobody's gotten in the chat. So I may end this here soon. I got to get a drink anyways. on average length of 10 to 15 feet, with males generally being larger than females and some individuals reaching lengths of over 19 feet. They're talking about alligators. Yeah, I used to go walk on my walks every morning down by this moat around Lake Okeechobee. And I never saw a 12-foot or anything, but I did see probably 6 or 7 footers, pretty regular. This is the hard one because horses are claustrophobic. How do you load your horse in a trailer if it's claustrophobic? Yeah, alligators. I'm claustrophobic. I don't like being. I've watched videos of these cave divers that put on these uh, wetsuits and scuba gear. And they'll go down in these. There's a famous big deep hole in near Ocala, Florida, I believe, and it's killed like I don't know 10 or 15 people. They get down, they keep going so deep and deep, and they got to one point they got to squeeze through this tiny thing. I think they even call it the birth canal. They got to squeeze through it, and I'm like, ugh, I can't stand it. Uh-oh. Good lie, my power's out here in Michigan. Super annoying. A tornado swept through. Yikes. Yeah, there's been some nasty tornadoes it's kind of early. That was like 3 weeks ago, that big storm. So y'all had another one? I do. That's one thing I don't miss about the South and the Plains area. Is, to the best of my knowledge, they don't ever have tornadoes up here. The worst thing happens usually in Wyoming is you get blizzards and it gets minus 30 degrees, which I love it. So it doesn't bother me, but good luck. You hate alligators. Yeah. I've never been around them much. I don't like snakes either. And I raised snakes in high school. A person that raises snakes is called a herpetoculturalist. And I raised 10-foot Burmese pythons, and I still hate snakes. Had a big storm that came through here in Cincinnati. Yeah, these storms lately are coming up from the south and going from Texas all the way to the Great Lakes and moving east. Like, and I know that's typically, but they're like big storms. All right, so Miss Vicky got done with hers, and then all the other people get their shot at it. I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. Let's see. Okay, pause and go over to here and here, and there's moi. All right. Well, kitties, I guess I'm going to end it here. Y'all kind of quiet today. I am going to take off at least one day. I think I need to. In the old days, I did it for like 2 months and straight and never took a day off, and I kind of got burned out. So I don't know what day I'm going to do it. I'll either probably Sundays. I know today is Sunday, but since I just started about, I don't know, 4 or 5 days ago, I wanted to go ahead and come on live today. But I may take off one day this week, and then starting every Sunday from here on, I just take off Sundays, if that works for y'all. And pray for the crypto market. Oh my God. Oh my God, it is killing me. They are bleeding us dry. This is the worst alt cycle I've ever been through. And I've been into the general crypto world pretty much since the white papers, since inception. I remember in 2011 watching this weird thing called Bitcoin trade for like 50 cents. And I couldn't wrap my head around it. Later in 2015, I had 3 Bitcoin that I sold for $750. And now 1 Bitcoin's worth, it's down to about 82,000. And all Angel knows this, all of our alt bags, it's killing me. It's killing me. I've got so much shit I want to do, and I can't do it because I'm just going to go ahead and blame Trump. He's screwing everything up, launching that stupid shit coin. It's literally called Trump coin, and it's just ruining everything. Yeah, Angel knows exactly what I'm talking about. It sucks. I mean, our alts bags are down like 90+%. It's going to take a 300% jolt just to get our bags back to, back to where, break even, basically. I would love to live on a ranch. I have no idea about cows. They're just big, cute, dumb animals. They're just big and they're really cute, especially when they're babies. And right now, all the mamas are having their little calves and they're so cute. But my God, they are dumb. Yeah, they're dumb. I could make a really, really crude joke, but I'm not going to. There you go. I know. Thank God I put more into gold and silver. I'm sure Angel agrees with me. We should have, or silver's not really done much so far. It's last time I checked, it's only like, it's done okay, 34, 35. But gold's been on a tear. It's up, what, 50 or 70% in the last 2 years, and for gold, that's a lot. It's up to $3,100 an ounce. Usually, when gold goes up, it goes up before Bitcoin, and Bitcoin tends to follow. But where does it say you won't have your casinos? I'm not sure what you're talking about. Is that a what's his name? CTO Larson thing? I'm not sure. And everything else he's doing to the native people in America. Oh, Trump? I have no idea. What's he doing to the native people? Angel would know something about that. So God, hey, what's up, man? This market has been effed, and that's coming from an NVIDIA investor. I hope you got in about 2.5 years ago, because NVIDIA's just been on a tear, or was. But this market sucks, like sucks. One thing I can't wait, and I wish Bitcoin wasn't so dang tied to the stock market. It's kind of annoying, like. It's like right on the verge. Bitcoin alone's like $1.6 trillion asset, which is a lot of money. It's worth more than like the top 3 banks in the United States combined. But it's still nowhere near the market cap of Wall Street. It just seems like when a few billionaires decide to spend a little or cash out a little bit, it just crashes. Bitcoin, it just goes down so bad. Silver will catch up. That's what everyone says. I mean, right now the price of copper is even up. It's like $5 a pound. You know how many old industrial radiators I've changed out. I've recored and changed, and those old cores we used to sell them for like $1 a pound. These cores would be like 200 pounds. You're like, hell yeah, get free $200. It's $5 a pound now. It'd be an old core is now worth more than I used to give 20 years ago for a brand new copper radiator core. Okay, you were talking to that other person. Okay, I see. LOL. Trump coin. He is a talented entrepreneur, though. That's all I could say. He is. Yeah, I'll never take that away. That guy's been famous my entire life. Yeah, he's not stupid. I don't agree with a lot of his policies, but you know, I do like some of the stuff he's doing. He did free Ross Ulbricht, so I will give Trump that. Let's see, where's my cheering? Yeah, he did free Ross Ulbricht. He campaigned on it. He promised it, and he actually did it. So I will give the man credit for that. He did do that, and I'm appreciative of it. Caleb, if you were president of the United States, what would be your first rule, and how would you accomplish as the president? I wouldn't want to be president. I've gotten close to B-list or C-list celebrities in my lifetime, and some of them were in the political realm back in the 2012 Ron Paul revolution. And politics is a dirty, dirty, dirty business. And I never even got near the top. All this stuff going on with RFK Jr. right now and all this blackmail and scandal stuff. Ugh, I wouldn't want to. I'm watching old Ian Carroll. Angel and I watch Ian Carroll a lot, and that guy's he's got nerves of steel to get involved with it because he's young, but he's real smart. But if I was president, I'd never make it because I can't lie that good. I just can't do it. But if I did, I don't know that I can say what I do because I might get banned. But let's just say Ron Paul wrote a book called In the Fed, and I'm a big Ron Paul fan. So you get up there with the big boys and you start seriously messing with the central banks, and it gets really, really dangerous. Would you like to own an American goldfinch? I have no idea what that is. I'm about to cash out on a collector proof Indian head cents and Lincolns. Well done. I used to collect those. Hope you got one of those. If I'm not mistaken, there's a mint on one of them from the Denver Mint, where the D has on the base of the D. There was a double die cast, and then this was like 30 years ago. I was looking at those, and back then they were worth like 50 grand. So I say all the wasteful spending is being exposed by Doge is crazy. It is. It's insane what Doge is exposing. But what's even more insane is the budget that they just passed that Trump ramrodded and got on to old Massey about. They just passed Biden's old budget plus like 7 or 12%. It makes no sense. That's why I don't. That's why I'd be terrible at president. Trump is getting rid of the fraud, and that is a good thing. We think he seems compromised. If I'm be quite honest, and I can't talk about it anymore, I will get kicked off of YouTube. But he seems compromised to me. It's just my opinion. Not saying he is or isn't. I have no idea. Just kind of what it seems like. My grandfather was a major in a small city, and he says politics is a prostitute. Yep. That's why I liked Ron Paul, because he literally had a sign on his desk that said, what did it say? Something about don't screw people over because the government hates competition. He was known as Dr. No. Every bill that came up to get voted on in the House, he always, or not always, but he was very, very free. He voted no way more than he voted yes. And his reason is, You're not going to present me with a bill that is that thick 1 hour before the time to call the vote and expect a yes from me. I don't care how good it sounds and what, BS name they call it, saving all American children from starvation forever and ever and love and hugs. He goes, I don't care what you call it. If you're not going to give us a chance to read it and find out what's in it, then that's why he would he'd just say, no, I'm not, you won't give me a chance to read it. I don't know what's in it. And there's literally a famous line by Nancy Pelosi where she said, we have to pass the bill so that we can find out what's in it. She literally said that, like on live TV. Of course, she's an old drunk hag, but me too, Nicholas. Me too. I'd get JFK'd in a heartbeat. Oh my God. I was working at Rogue Doge operation here in Montana. Oh, you are, yeah. I don't know how I wasn't going to say anything, Angel. You feel free to say whatever you want. I wasn't going to bring that up. I have bird feeders in my backyard, and I watch many American goldfinches feeding in their favorite thistles. What are y'all talking about? Goldfinches? I don't know what. Is that a bird? This is how they created the federal bank. I don't know what it's called in your country. Over here, it's called the Federal Reserve, and it was formed on New Year's Eve, 1913, or maybe it's Christmas Eve, 1913. They sent all the Congress critters home and rammed it down our throat. I wasn't going to get into politics on this because I can, and I just was trying not to because like we've all established here, somebody getting clipped with their president, and it's really dirty. I'm just trying to keep it light because unless you're one of the big people on YouTube, like Candace Owens or something, I don't know how she gets away with saying what she does and she doesn't get demonetized, but I don't want to get demonetized. That was a total TDS move they pulled with them giving less than 24 hours to read the bill before the vote. Well, no, I mean, I know what TDS is, and I see it. I know what it is, and people most definitely have TDS for sure. But that was actually him being deranged, pushing that through, in my opinion, trying to, push out Massey and get him primaried again, like he did the last time in 2020 with the CARES Act. And then promoting that douche canoe Lindsey Graham barf. I mean, that dude is just a warmonger. Okay, to be honest, you got to know your birds a little bit more. LOL. Okay, I don't know anything about birds. I mean, y'all feel free to talk amongst yourselves about birds. I just don't know anything about the birds. I do like birds. There's these magpies that are around here, and I love magpies. I mean, I don't know much about them other than just I observe them. I've got this big picture window right in front of me, and I even when it's minus 20 degrees, I'll pull off my leg and strip down my skimpies and get a tan on my sexy body. And these magpies, they hop around. They're so funny. They act like cats, and I love kitties. I'll call them the cats of the bird world. I also like cardinals, really cool red birds. Makes me think of Angry Birds. I remember my kids played that. The O's. Are y'all talking more birds? I'm gonna have to start a Reddit link on here. a notorious dad Reddit link. I have a subreddit about birds, so y'all can talk about birds. Oh my goodness, I'm over the hour mark. All right, kiddies, I'm gonna call her quits here. It's an hour and 5 minutes. I'll should be back tomorrow. I'm gonna I'm going to go ahead and take off one day. I'm not sure what day, and just collect my thoughts a little bit. Let my voice not be so scratchy. But I want all of you. This is your assignment, and I mean this. When I talk about the importance of health and staying sober, I want to hear your stories of your sobriety. I don't care if it's your 24-hour sober. I want to hear about it. And then I want to hear, or in addition to that, I want to hear that you got off your big fat arses and got busy and moved and get your heart rate up for 15 minutes tomorrow and the next day and the next and the next and the next. You got it? Do y'all understand me? Are y'all, I'm giving y'all internet dad advice. It's so funny when kids call me that. I wish I had a dad. Not funny. It's actually sad, but I wish I had a dad like you. I call you're like my internet dad. All right. Well, internet dad is telling y'all, get your heart rate up. But we need to talk to you about birds. I can't. I don't know anything about birds. All right. That's what I want to hear. Do not comply with the next, well, I can't even say that thing, but when internet dad says, get your heart rate up, I mean it. I want healthy people because healthy people make better decisions than sick people. Sick people, and if you haven't noticed, the whole world is rather large, especially here in America. We're all very, very large. In my opinion, that is unhealthy. And if your body's that way, your mind is that way, and you can't think straight. So I want people getting healthy and making healthier decisions. Do you understand? I mean it. All right. Well, tomorrow I will go ahead and get on. I'm putting everyone's comment up there that I'm going to hold y'all all to it. Yes, regardless of RFK and his whole entire bloodline being famous philanderers going back all the way to the 60s when Kennedy, his uncle, was porking Marilyn Monroe. I don't condone it, but I don't care. If he'll get in there and actually make America healthy again, it's really exciting to see because, Ian Carroll, he's on a kick getting people to run. Hell, even Alex Jones has lost 60 pounds, and he's changed his body so much that people think he's been cloned now. But yeah, it's getting to be. I'm behind the curve on a lot of things, but I'm kind of proud to be ahead of the curve. I'm ahead of the curve because I'm already jacked. I just can't wait to get even more jacked. So, all right, I shall see y'all. The old Greek said this too: a healthy spirit can only be in a healthy body. Yes, that's what I mean. All right, I need to. I'll get to outro music. I'll eventually start doing that, but I'll see y'all tomorrow. And I mean it. Y'all go get healthy, and I want to hear everybody's story about staying sober. If you're just 24 hours sober, tell me about it. If you're a week sober, tell me about it. I want to hear it, and I want to hear about what you did to get your heart rate up for. And remember, 15 minutes, that's the minimum. Go for 30 minutes or an hour if you can. But, if you're not able to, that's the minimum threshold is 15 minutes. So, all right, y'all take care, and I'll talk to y'all mañana.